Hey guys, my name is Pratham Mehra. A lot of you guys know me as Kimera. I'm a DJ and a music producer from Mumbai. I'm 21 years old and I've been pursuing music for the past 4 years. The entire journey started 4 years back when I attended a concert here in Mumbai when Martin Garrix actually came down to India, and like seeing a young teenager on stage like that really inspired me to do something around it. And that's how I got into music. Then a friend of mine introduced me to a DAW, that's obviously like FL Studio. And yeah, from there, like I started making music and been making all along. So getting into music wasn't the easiest thing for me because I don't come from a musical background, although I used to play the keys a little when I was a child. But growing up, the dream was to, play and be a cricketer and represent the country on the highest level. But when I was 16 or 17, when actually I was practicing for my college team, I sort of pulled a muscle on my lower back, and because of that, I just couldn't pursue the dream any further. There were times where the pain was so much that I couldn't move. Like I used to wake up in the middle of the night, but I couldn't move because of the pain in my lower back. Luckily, having played keys as a child, it came in handy when I was down with the injury, where I could sort of translate my ideas in the DAW, which my friend introduced me. Back then I started off with FL Studio because that was the easiest DAW that was available to me at that point, and then from there on I just kept evolving as a producer, and then finally I switched to Ableton Live, which is like the DAW I still use. So the artists I've been listening to right now are the Chainsmokers, Love, Shy Martin, 12 AM, and in general, like I listen to a lot of pop and tech house. Talking about my inspirations, like I mentioned, it all started with the concert that I attended where Martin Garrix toured India, I think 4 years or 5 years back, where I saw a young teenager on stage, grooving with the audience, making an entire arena go crazy with his music. So that was probably the first things that struck a chord in me, that if like a young guy like him can be on stage and make so many people dance to his music, obviously like anyone can. So that sort of inspired me to take up music in the first instance itself. So I've been producing music for the past 3 or 4 years, and in that span I've possibly tried every genre I could. I've tried making house music, I've tried making pop, I've tried making future bass, and finally I feel I've settled down on a style of music that I personally like, which I tried to incorporate in my first single that we put out called Cold Walls, which is available obviously on all streaming platforms. That song did 30 to 35,000 organic streams, which got included into 5 major playlists on JioSaavn alongside legends like David Guetta, Tiesto, Kashmir. So before getting into the academy, I still used to DJ a bit on the like a controller that my neighbor had, but then it was just as a hobby. So I just thought of giving it a go, and there was one of these college festivals that had the competition called War of DJs, where for the first time I played on the CDJs, and I completely bombed that set, where I was standing in front of like 1,000 people, 1,100 people, and I forgot to cue the next song because being on the stage for the first time, and the nerves just kicked in. So after that, I thought I would just take it slow, work on my skill, and then one day I came across this video by the Lost Stories Academy, which sort of drew my attention towards it, and I joined the advanced music production, and I also did my DJing course at the academy. I've been really grateful to the academy for all the opportunities they provided me with, and Prayag sir being one of the most important people who've actually helped me convince my parents to take up music as a career option. Being just at the academy, hanging around, has helped me make a lot of producer friends, and meeting the like-minded people. I've also collaborated with a few of them, like the oldest track being Fight Fair. We started this demo, like Abbas and I, we started this demo back in 2017. We got a top line on it with the help of Prayag sir. And we finished the track, we sent it out to a lot of labels, and we never got a reply back. But then I kept evolving the track. I kept working on it for the past 3 years, and finally I've finished like a final version which is ready to go out, and I hope it either lands up on a label or just out in general for the people to listen to it. So when I started my journey in music, there were a lot of hurdles. One being, getting the support from my parents, because when I started making music, not coming from any musical background, there was always a doubt, where my parents still did not think that, music is a career option. They always supported it as a hobby, but, picking it up as a professional career made them a bit skeptical about the entire thing. One of the major convincing point in the whole process was the background score that I did for the Nawazuddin Siddiqui and Jackie Bagnani movie, which was called Carbon, which is available on YouTube. These are these little opportunities, that came from the Lost Stories Academy that sort of, helped me convince my parents and, made them support me in the entire journey into music. Another hurdle being labels not accepting a lot of music from the newer artists. The biggest example being Fight Fire. Initially, when we finished the demo, Abbas and we sent it out to a lot of labels, and not like one but 14 labels rejected it in one go, and it sort of demotivated me in that instance, but it also kept me going and helped me evolve the track in a way that I finally can say that the track is finished and it's ready to go out. So that's another thing that sort of pushed me back then. A thing that I notice on the internet right now is the younger producers, like the producers who are up and coming, they don't really support each other. It's always a race where I'm better than you, or like someone else is better than me. So I just noticed this one thing where producers aren't really supportive of each other, which I feel should change, because the more you support your friends and other people, the more the industry is going to go together in general. So Cold Walls came together, even that track I started in 2018 and I released it back in 2019 in October. So it was a year's journey on that track as well. I found this vocal on Splice, and I just laid down a few chords under it, and I didn't have an idea for the hook of it. So it was just another dead track on my hard disk. But then one fine day, I just I was sort of in the flow, and I came up with the hook and I finished the song. And I felt it wasn't good to go, but my friends and obviously everyone around me sort of pushed me to put out that track, and I've just been happy with the way it's performed. The highlight being my music being played at Tomorrowland. It's every kid's dream to either be at Tomorrowland or getting their music played. So that's one of the things. The other being, doing official remixes for Tiger Lily, Lost Stories, Zayden. Then, playing multiple shows for brands like Bumble, Indian Nightlife Convention Awards, Absolute, Art Bar with Nikhil Thampi. So these are like a few shows that I count as an achievement. At the start of 2020, I was lucky enough to play my first Sunburn campus. So these are the achievements so far in my career. So the 5 essentials I personally think are the most important for any artist is number 1 being music, branding your music right, collaborating with like-minded and the right people, actually connecting and staying in touch with people who actually listen to your music, and staying unique. So another essential for an artist is networking, which I think plays a massive role in anyone's career. I realized this when I attended the second edition of ADE, which is the Amsterdam dance event out here in Mumbai. And I went on to attend the edition in Amsterdam as well, and I met a few people and stayed in touch with them. Some of them have gone on to become label A&Rs and have taken up jobs in various labels. So I feel it's always important to stay in touch with the right people and keep expanding your network. So the goal that I have in mind is to put out more music and work on as much music as I can, and simultaneously build a concept show. I'm not really sure what direction I want to head in, but the show should basically provide an experience for a viewer. So the people coming in should just not only come for the music, but they should come and experience the show in general. So apart from music, my other hobbies are obviously sports. I'm a big sports junk. I probably watch every sport that's out there on the TV. I personally like a lot of fashion. I'm a big sneakerhead. I like collecting sneakers, even though my mom's sort of angry with me with that. But yeah, I'm a big sneakerhead. Which is your dream festival? Ultra Music Festival, Miami. Who's your dream collab? It has to be Martin Garrix. All-time favorite artist. That also has to be Martin Garrix. All-time favorite track. Reload by Sebastian Ingrosso, Tommy Trash, and John Martin. Favorite artist, one from the EDM circuit and one from Bollywood. So Indian EDM circuit, it has to be Lost Stories, and from the Bollywood circuit, it has to be a tie between Badshah and Arijit Singh. So for all the people who want to know more about me, you can check out my social media. It's at I am Chimera on Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat.